We sailed on Royal Caribbean's Jewel of the Seas for 7 nights and gathered some tips and tricks for your next trip.
Learn how to get the most out of this ship today on This Happy Place.
Hi friends, and welcome to This Happy Place. If you are new here, I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jake.
And as we said in the intro, we sailed for 7 nights on the Jewel of the Seas and learned all of the ins and outs about that ship.
We did. We spent a lot of time on the ship. This was on our East Coast Canada sailing just a couple months ago. We went towards mid-fall, I'd say, in the October time frame, and it was a wonderful trip. We had a few sea days on the ship, so we really got the ins and outs, and we're here to share it with you. If
you're interested in seeing vlogs of that Canadian cruise, you can go down and below. I have linked every single video in that 7-night journey in the description, and then there's going to be an eye up in the corner for the entire playlist you can watch from the beginning.
It was a pretty unique trip. The Jewel of the Seas has several itineraries, but this one is perhaps one of the least commonly cruised, and we were so glad to bring you all along and share it with you.
Also, if you aren't subscribed, I would recommend you do it now because we just got back from our weekend cruise on Margaritaville at Sea, and those vlogs will be starting very, very shortly. You are not going to want to miss them.
Is it as bad as people say? Find out.
Okay, before we get to the tips and tricks, let's tell you just a few bits of information about the Jewel of the Seas so you know everything about the ship going in.
The Jewel of the Seas is a Radiance class ship, so it's a little bit smaller, just turned 20 years old this past year, and it's getting up there in age, you can tell. It also can hold just over 2,700 guests and 852 crew members when fully staffed. Aboard the Jewel of the Seas, there are 12 guest decks. There are 13 decks, but 12 of them are accessible to guests. A total of 1,097 guest staterooms aboard.
So not a giant ship by any means, but there's still lots to do and lots to learn about. So let's get into the nitty-gritty and get right to our 10 tips and tricks that we gathered while sailing on the Jewel of the Seas.
Number 1. Do make sure that you bring a USB hub along with you if you have multiple electronic devices that you're going to need to charge at any one time, because this ship is a little older. There were only 3 outlets in our stateroom. We had an ocean view stateroom. There were 2 in the main room, sort of around the vanity area, and then 1 in the bathroom on the ceiling that is supposed to just be for electric razors. However, make sure that you do not bring a power strip or a power block. Those are no longer allowed on cruise ships.
Number 2, don't overlook the outdoor seating of Windjammers. This is the complete back side of the deck. You can access it from either side. If you walk into Windjammers in the front, head towards the back, you can go out either way and it wraps around. And we were on a cold weather sailing, but on the sides as you walk out, it's somewhat covered.
It is, it's enclosed.
And even in the very, very cold mornings, you could sit out there really comfortably. There were a ton of wind blocks. And even if you walked around the back, you were still under cover if you didn't go the whole way to the railing. And it was pretty comfortable. And at least on our sailing, there was never anyone out there.
Yeah.
And there's also 2 drink stations out there as well. And there was really never anyone in them, ever using them. We could walk up, get our coffee, get our juice, and not have to wait for anyone else. As I said, it was a cold weather sailing, so your mileage may vary. If you're on a slightly warmer cruise, that area is probably gonna be more popular. But go out there if the Windjammer inside is packed like it often was when we were on board.
Yeah, it was often full inside, but we would go outside into these external seating areas for the Windjammer and had no problem finding a table. And number 3. So deck 12, we said there's 13 decks. Deck 12, pretty much as high up as you can go.
Yeah.
Center of the ship is where the loyalty desk is. If you don't have a reason to go to the loyalty desk, you would never know this is there, because you don't even have to really walk through it
to
do anything on deck 12 to get from one side to the other. In the middle of where the loyalty desk is, that little room, is a huge, like, table-sized portal window all the way down through all, well, I guess that's 8, 9 decks, all the way down to the bottom of the Centrum on deck 4.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It's one of those things where, like, they have it roped off, but you can get right up to the edge and be like, gee.
Yeah. Number 4. If you are smoke sensitive or just really do not like the smell of cigarette smoke, there are some areas you're gonna want to avoid. And that's going to be deck 6, kind of the entire Centrum, including vintages and the pit stop. The reason for this is those are the 2 places on the outside of the casino, and we found that the smoke smell really, really bled out into those areas. So much so that we really just didn't go there.
On this particular ship, at least on our sailing, they were running reverse osmosis machines like in the casino to kind of alleviate the smell of the smoke. But it didn't look like, or it didn't smell like that was really doing much.
No. And I think that is just the fact that it's an older ship and it probably was not built with that smell in mind. If you are a smoker, of course, you can smoke in there. The other smoking areas are on deck 5, the starboard side, and on deck 11, starboard side, kind of. It's outside Windjammers, but you can't access it from Windjammers. I think it's technically considered the pool deck. And those are where you're gonna go to smoke. So if you want to avoid it, avoid those 2 areas. If you need to smoke, those are where you're gonna go.
Number 5. Pretty simple, but speaking again of Windjammers, this was something kind of unique to this particular ship and sailing. We noticed that when observing Windjammers, as you enter, it looked symmetrical. If you journeyed around the different tables, you'd see that it wasn't entirely symmetrical in terms of what they were offering. One side might have a turkey or a carving station, the other side might be sandwiches. On one occasion, there would be your kind of like Indian
or Asian cuisine.
Yeah, and then the other side would be something else. So certainly there was no shortage of variety for as small of a ship and as small of a Windjammers as this was. You just gotta walk around, check it out.
Okay, before we continue on, we want to know, you're watching this video, so are you sailing on the Jewel of the Seas anytime soon? If you are, where are you going? And if you're just watching this because you like us, thanks. Or if you have sailed on the Jewel of the Seas previously, let us know if you gathered any tips and tricks of your own. Share them down below for anyone that will be sailing in the future. And number 6, if you are interested in seeing one of the movies in the movie theater on board, we recommend that you get to that movie early, especially on your sea day. The theater is very, very small. And when we were filming our ship tour, coming out soon, we walked around the corner and there were all these people standing outside the theater. And we heard them talking and they said that, oh, the movie starts in 5 minutes and it's been full for the last 20 minutes. So you had to get there pretty much half an hour to 45 minutes before a movie even started if you wanted to see it on the sea day. I think that is partly because you weren't sitting out by a pool, most likely. Your options were a little bit more limited of what you could do. And I don't know, they were showing Ghostbusters, so maybe people just really, really wanted to see Ghostbusters when we were on the ship.
Number 7. We loved the Solarium aboard the Jewel of the Seas. The Solarium is so glass enclosed, you have great views of the outside and they keep it really warm inside. So you feel like you're outside and you can still be warm on a cold weather cruise. However, if you're the kind of person that enjoys that sort of thing and you want to spend time in there, make sure you claim a spot early. You can't reserve chairs or anything like that, but get there ahead of the crowds because it did fill up fast. On most of the days, especially the sea days, all of the loungers were full.
The tables were always full too. It's on the same deck as Windjammers, so I think a lot of people would grab their food and go there.
It's one of the few places that you can go where you're sort of away from the loud hustle and bustle of crowds, but still in a warm enclosed area.
We loved it, don't get us wrong, but just if you know you're gonna wanna spend a lot of time in there, just get there early. And number 8, another lack of seating options tip. But if you are going to an activity or to see music in the Centrum, there are really only like 4 couches on the main floor, the bar seating, and then they have this weird tucked away corner that's kind of under the stairs that was maybe like 10 seats,
Yeah.
but you can't really see anything back there.
Yeah, it was like the stairs were right in front of you and the band was right in front of that.
Yeah, a little bit of a strange setup. It's, again, a small ship, so we understand, but it's not the end of the world because every deck, I think the whole way up, has balconies overlooking the Centrum. So we went to the crew flag parade, and I think we were 2 or 3 decks above it, had a great view of everything going on, and literally the balconies the whole way up had people looking, and that was really, really cool. But you could do that for any activity. And on the one side, there were chairs at every level, so you could sit and relax and listen to the music, but you didn't have to be down in it. It's a small central area, but I think they did a good job of being able to include a lot of people in it.
They made the most out of the space
Yes.
there for sure. And number 9. Anytime you're coming into a port, you sometimes have to contend with the hustle and bustle of crowds who want to be on the deck when that happens, to see the shoreline come in. There are some places unique to this ship, Jewel of the Seas, that we found to be particularly good spots. The first one is Deck 5, forward, the helipad. You can actually access the helipad on the ship most of the time.
Yeah, they had it open kind of a lot. I was surprised.
Right. It doesn't necessarily look like you're going to the right place on the way there. You sort of have to, like, it's like you can't get there from here kind of scenario. You go out onto the far port or far starboard side, and you're sort of just walking along the deck walking area, and then you come to like stairs.
And it feels like you shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it feels like it's crew area, but you just walk up the stairs and boom, you're on the helipad, and it's totally cool for you to be there. It's a great place to watch as you're sailing, as ships are going by, you're coming into a port. I don't know, we had a ton of fun there, and I feel like we spent a lot of time there too.
On a warm weather cruise,
Oh.
that'd be so nice.
Another great spot is either forward or aft on deck 12. There's some great viewing areas from those locations, and it's higher up, so you do get a little bit of a bird's eye view of what you're coming into.
We also really enjoyed being on either side, depending on which side you're docking on, but the crew would, on deck 5, that's where you could see them actually throw the rope to the shoreman.
Yeah, to get tied off.
To have the ship tied off. And that was, I don't know, I really enjoyed watching that because we were right beside them sometimes. Just something you might miss if you aren't looking for it, but unique and fun and so, again, unique to cruising. You're not gonna have that experience anywhere else. And number 10. If the solarium's really busy or the bars are popping off during the day and you're looking for a little bit of a quieter area to enjoy your time or to read a book or to do some puzzles, you can go to the Safari Lounge. At night, this is a nightclub. There was karaoke, there were bands playing in there, but often during the day, it wasn't super busy. It wouldn't get busy until the evenings when like bingo started. I think they had art auctions in there occasionally,
They
but
did.
I never actually saw the auctions. I saw the art, but that's where they have the art auctions. It was a really great place to go and kind of be by yourself. And there's these huge windows that offer really beautiful views of the back of the ship. And if you want to grab a drink on your way there, you walk through the schooner bar to get there. There is a bar right as you walk into the Safari Lounge.
Right past the self-leveling pool tables.
Yep. And there was one in the back. Did you ever see the one in the back open?
I never even saw anything there. Like, they never stocked it.
I don't think for our sailing that one was open. The one right when you walked in was, but not always. So Schooner Bar was pretty much always open our whole sailing. So if you want to drink, probably stop there. And then you could grab a book from the library because you walk through that. You can grab a puzzle of the day. They had those. Could do some trivia and some Sudoku, but really, really great area. And it was nice that they had that on this ship. And a bonus for you, because it's a This Happy Place video, so you have to.
10's just not enough.
Soft serve, very important while you're sailing. It is kind of hidden on the Jewel of the Seas. It's not on the pool deck. It's actually in Windjammers. You're going to walk like you're gonna head outside, but only if you're heading towards the back, only on the right-hand side. So that would be
Port side.
port side. You're gonna see the dessert stand area. That's gonna be on your left as you're heading to outside. And then right past that is where the ice cream is. During breakfast, and probably, if they're not ready, there is a door across it.
Secret door.
So we didn't go there for lunch until a couple days in, and we were going like, where is the soft serve ice cream? And it's back there. It's hidden. And it's only on the port side. On the other side, it is the freestyle machines if you have a soda drink package.
Right.
So don't miss it. I'm telling you this, and we never got soft serve once. So disappointed in us. We really enjoyed our time on the Jewel of the Seas. I was a little, not skeptical. We have sailed on a ship of similar size and really enjoyed it. And then we only sailed on ships of 5,000 or more. And I was like, oh, we're going back down to a smaller ship. Are we going to like it? There are some things I don't like about it, but I think I just like cruising on smaller ships more.
I found the crew interactions to be much more personable and personal on this particular sailing, this particular ship. It seemed like everybody was more willing to have a conversation with you, not about their work. And there was sort of this atmosphere of we're all in this togetherness
for sure
that I've not experienced on the larger ships.
If you are interested in seeing a what we liked versus what we didn't like, a pros and cons list, if you will, about the Jewel of the Seas, please let us know in the comments down below, and we may consider doing that, especially now that we're removed from it a little bit and we have even more ideas about what we liked about the Jewel of the Seas. But thanks so much for watching. As we said before, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, go watch our other videos, share these videos with the people you will be sailing with in the near future. And until next time, stay magical. Bye.
This whole house smells like onions.
Well, we ate a lot of onions today.
I smell like onions.
Maybe it's just you.
What is YMMV?
Your mileage may vary.
Number 3.
Oops, one do that. I was like, I'm holding up 4 fingers. This is wrong.
I saw the whole progression of ideas happen in your head. We're talking about the Windjammer Cafe and the Solarium Cafe. It's not the Windjammer Cafe.
It's not.
And number 3. Or no, it wasn't the helipad.
I don't think you could access them from the helipad.
Yeah, I think we're thinking. Great.
Because you would see them all wagging their flags.
Flag
Not
wagging
them.
Flag wagging. I smell like stuffing.
I do?
Yeah. It's a good smell. I like it.